You're finally here, oh master of magic. What's up guys, I'm here to do a breakdown / live reaction and review to chapter 138 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End, which is known as, it's on the bottom of this page. I know it's on the bottom of this page, but I see the Lord guy, and like, the Lord guy who slaughtered the previous great mage, I think actually her name was Minus. For some reason I thought it was like Minty or like Minthus, but I think it was confusing it with something else. But I think her name was like Minus, but still he slaughtered the previous great mage, and it seemingly enough looks like he did that in almost like a 1v1 off guard scenario. And now they're in the heart of the Empire and Sere's here. Oh no. Personally, I kind of don't want Seri to go. Like, I'm still fully in the camp that I want her to live, and like be a character more than what little we've got of her. I think on a narrative level, her death would like, it could work. But I just don't want it. I'm in a really weird narrative position about Sere. And that may because I've tied her history directly into the history of my fanfic see. But let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it. Editing me. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact. Lord Ro or Lord Lo? He's the wild card here. I think him being responsible for the death of Sere is crazy. And like, because here's the thing, right? It really depends on like what you view Frieren as. Yeah, Frieren. Everyone's like, am I saying it right? Yeah, it really depends on what you view Frieren as. Do you think if Sere dies, will they let Frieren and gang escape, and then we sort of like shift the plot over to a reaching heaven plot to Sweet Mother Mercy, we're running from the Empire because they want us to like slaughter our party leader? Or do you think nothing really changes? At least not for our main party. They'll just leave and keep going towards heaven and then hopefully meet Sere there or something like that. I don't know. I feel like ultimately the most interesting outcome for both sides is a war. But with Sere being alive, I'm fine with her taking lethal damage. Or not lethal damage, because obviously that means... But like, I'm fine with her taking extreme damage, so just to show how powerful the Empire is meant to be. Because ultimately, the Empire has been jobbing some of our characters, but they still managed to escape and like get out on their own. If you looked at... Think. If you've looked at the Fern fight that just happened, they beat the 3 Shadow Warriors for all intents and purposes, or at least they beat them back. With not Method, that's the wrong witch. And I'm mixing up terminology. This is why you don't read too many fantasy magical series at once, y'all. Ubel, I forget these darn names, bro. But Ubel and Land, they both escaped, were able to completely outwit and outdo their captors all at the same time. So like, so far the Empire, they've been proven to be strong. They have been. But they haven't caught a major enough body that I think would make sense for them to catch Sere as a body. But for them to do lethal or critical damage to Sere and sort of remove her net of safety from the plot a little bit, and then hypothetically kick off a war between the Continental Magic Association and the Empire. Now that could be clean. And you can still definitely have the benefits of a Sere death without actually slaughtering the character and removing her from any other interactions. Because that's the one thing I've always been, like, especially on my own end as I write my own stories, I've always been hesitant to just off characters because of potential, right? Like, unless I'm confident I've drawn out almost every single drop of this potential, or the point of the character is a tragedy that we could not see their full potential, I don't want to slaughter characters, and I feel like Sere still has way too many depths that have yet to be touched or seen or anything like that, that I really want her to stay. But let's not waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 138. Traitor. Ooh, we got a traitor. It's crazy how she just walks up to the gate spires. I mean, obviously she's like a god, right? Like what guards would really be useful? It's kind of like, what was it? I saw like one image of like Mike Tyson with bodyguards that were smaller than him. I'm like, what are you there for? I mean, maybe like bullet shield, but ooh, that's bad. Should have said that. But like, other than that, what are you there for, Buckaroo? Like you are guarding the more. You should be the ones being guarded by Mike Tyson, if anything. That man was in his prime the most lethal man on the planet. Gosh darn it. And I guess Seti's kind of the same thing. She's showing up in her same shorts, her same hoodie, and she's just like, yeah, that's good, guy. To the Empire, you know they want your head. But let's see. False. I don't remember asking you to follow me. I told you I don't need a bodyguard. Oh, so she literally said, let them do their worst. That's probably how the last one died. I'm not gonna to this same guy, to Lord Rowe. That's probably how the last one died. I bet Minus or whatever really thought she was her, really thought she was built like that, and then encountered a Shadow Warrior for the first time and then got cooked. Obviously, she did good damage, right? Like, his eye is gone. But it is clear that Sede is not taking Frieren's words to heart. Where, like, Frieren essentially warned Sede, oh, no. The age of humans isn't coming. It's here. They have gotten dangerous enough that even we, who have never known death, may actually fall. And, like, I presume the news of one of the 3 great mages dying. Once again, I don't know if the third one is Frieren herself or another unknown elf, but one of the 3 mythic sages dying, it's had to reach Sede's ears. And she has to know it was the Empire that did it, because what other power could? If it was a new Demon King, they'd know that too. So, like, she's gotta know that even if she truly is the pinnacle of the pinnacle, if she currently is the god tier of the Earth, right? Because the Demon King, I don't think there's been any rumors or any mentions of a new Demon King. The previous Demon King was slain. Obviously, Sede should realistically, for all intents and purposes, be the most powerful character in the series right now. As many people have said before, Frieren is pretty matchup based, and she can definitely get caught lacking. So I do think it is smart for Falsh and Sensa. It's not Sense, it's Sensa. I was trying to, my brain was screaming, say sense, but no, it's Sensa. I do think it's smart to have them with her. Just to be safe. Once again, it's kind of like a body shield thing. Even if Sede is much more powerful than her guards being there at all is still better. But see, this is not negotiable. And you know what? One thing I also like, I like how Sede does approach her, like, subordinates and students. She essentially will acquiesce to them. Well, we'll see if she acquiesces to Falsh here, but let's see. You're not familiar with this place, are you? Allow me to be your guide, at least. You worry too much. He does not. But I do like that. This has kind of been like a consistent part of Sede's character up to this point. Despite how cold or harsh she may come off sometimes, no, she'll pretty much always acquiesce to her students' requests or acquiesce to her subordinates' demands. When you think about it, like, the earliest idea I can remember is the whole reason the Empire exists. Remember, the main reason the Empire is because Sede assisted them 1,000 years ago, right? Like, ultimately, the spreading of magic and the proper teaching of it, the allowing of it, was something that Sede had to allow all those years ago because Flame requested it to. And sure, initially, Sede was about to just tear up the wound, or not the wound, the request. Like, she literally was about to just tear the will up, and Frieren was like, oh yeah, Master said you do that. Master could read you like a fiddle, bro. And she knows you're not built like that. You're gonna do it. And she did. That's why the Empire is the magical force it is today. Because she allowed the open teaching of magic. I forget if she directly helped or if it was just the allowing the open teaching, but regardless, that was a thing. And then, of course, a more recent example, though admittedly not recent considering, I think it was it no, it wasn't pre-Denken Youth. I think it was right around the time of Young Denken. The whole battle with Mocked. She was going to fight Mock. Like what? And presumably she was going to win. Once again, it was one of the 7 stages of the destruction versus the strongest character in the series at that time. The Demon King was dead. So, like, presumably she would have won a more extensive battle. But at the same time, once it was interrupted, she didn't tell them to stop. So they showed up and were like, Mistress Sede, we need to seal him right here, right now, before the Golden Land spreads. Please stop fighting. She was like, oh, you ruined it. Fine. And then she let him go. So ultimately, Sede is willing to follow her students. And it is always interesting, right? Like, I view it in the same way that I view following around my younger family members. Like, I specifically remember one time, many years back, when one of my baby cousins was like 1 year old. In fact, it was at his 1-year-old birthday party. And ultimately, I was assigned to just watch him while his parents were conversating. And he was 1, but he had just started to learn how to wobble around and stand. So I would just follow him. I let him hold on to my hand. I hunched my back over horribly that day. And I just wobbled around with him. I was following him. But, like, I could, at any moment, and I did a couple times a day, just scoop him up and just walk away. And technically, that's probably how Sede views it, by following the kids. Like, oh yeah, sure, fine. I'll do what you want. But it really ain't that serious. At least that's how she views it. But I think, I hope she's in for rude awakening and not death. Well, let's see. Interesting that no one can Well, then again, I guess that's the thing. They probably wouldn't know. And considering, look, perfect, one of the flame statues is here. It's highly likely that if they do have any visual record of Seta, it's probably inaccurate. Or at least the common folk wouldn't recognize her. Now, maybe anyone from the magical division, because considering they're likely slid into the idea of slaughtering Seta, like, they would probably know, but any random person probably wouldn't be able to recognize her. But it's like, what's that? I believe it's a statue of the great mage Flame. Does it bear any resemblance? And I do love how he immediately asked that. He's like, and that's the thing. I do wonder how much Seta herself speaks of her best, or at least so far, best apprentice to her newest ones, or to her subordinates. Like, does she tell them the stories of Flame? Like, we only know about Flame so much because Frieren was her student, and we get a bunch of flashbacks with that. But, like, I wonder if Seta even mentions her. We know she visits the graves of all her students as well. But, like, outside of that, I wonder if they even know. Or she's ever told them about her. But you should not take the hood off. Revealing your big elf ears and your bright golden hair is not the best move to do in the middle of the capital. Let's see. Even after all her great accomplishments, she still faded from people's memories. We now live in a time when all of humanity can use magic. I'm the only one left who remembers that smile of a girl who longed for something out of a fairy tale. What a strange feeling. I'm the only one left in the world who remembers that. And like, it's the one part of writing a mortal character. Like, for example, I remember for some reason in Frieren I get super into, like, hey, here's my fanfic, go see, and here's also the stories I'm writing. But in one of the stories I'm writing, the main one I'm writing, there are a lot of immortal characters. And a big thing that these immortal characters do is they reflect on things that they've seen, especially in legacies of certain people. So, for example, a character in my book meets a descendant of one of their long-lost friends and is like, you do look just like him. Got the same smile and everything. I guess you wouldn't know that. Like, I do, that's the one thing I love about immortal or super long-lived characters. Ultimately, they see the world completely differently because the world has always been completely different from era to era to era, beyond what even they know or understand. Or within what they know and understand, beyond what any other character would know and understand. And it's true, technically, for all intents and purposes, we don't know how old Frieren was when she was first recruited by Flame, but this may actually genuinely be true. I was about to say, well, actually, Frieren remembers, but no, the child Flame, the Flame that was not a woman of extreme power, a mage even greater than Frieren herself, that Frieren decided to learn under, yeah, Seta is the only one alive. Especially with the death of the other mage, who knows if they ever met, but she likely is the only one alive to even remember the face of that child. And you know what I like the most? She remembers her as a child. She knew Flame up until old age. Like, presumably, I actually forget if we've seen a flashback of her with old Flame. I know we've seen Frieren flashbacks of that, but I don't know if we ever saw old Flame with Seta, because I know she was working with the Empire, or at least what would become the Empire towards her later years in life and writing down all her schools and theorems. But ultimately, she knew adult Flame. But what does she remember? She remembers the child. The child she took in and raised to be the greatest mage in human history. So far, at least. That's what sticks with her. Because once again, we don't even know how old Seta was back then. She is ancient. And of course hasn't aged today, naturally. But still, I genuinely do wonder, how old is Seta? What has she seen? What has she done? But let's see. Alright, we managed to identify most of our enemies. There's no doubt that we're facing the Shadow Warriors. It turns out they really do exist. That they do. Let's see. If they're Shadow Warriors, then we're up against the Empire's secret military order of assassins, correct? Not a crime syndicate, but an official imperial organization. I'd say we're in a pretty difficult situation. And that is a good point, right? Because, like, it's the biggest reason why Frieren couldn't exactly while out against the Shadow Warriors. They are in the deepest throes of enemy territory. They're in the depths of the Empire. And you know they would take any excuse. Like it wouldn't matter if a civilian got scratched. They would take any excuse to rapid fire start a war. Because it's the thing. For all intents and purposes, as far as we know in universe, the only threat to the Empire is the Continental Magic Association. I'd say they're the only ones capable of doing literally anything to him. So they're probably looking for the perfect reason to go to war. And ultimately, Sere being here is a good enough reason, or at least Sere being here opens the door, because then that brings all the other ones here, which could lead to one of them causing a little scuffle, a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a... I was trying to find another word for like a miniature battle, but ultimately a little bit of riffraff, and then the Empire will be like, oh, they caused riffraff! Slaughter them all. But let's see. Basically, speak of them and they shall appear, land a new bell. Let's see. Basically, the Empire is behind them. If things go wrong, we could end up making an enemy of the... we could end up making an enemy of the Empire itself. We need to be careful. Frieren has already knocked out one of them. Well, knocked out, but they probably aren't dead. And in fact, we know they're not dead, as readers. We'll see. Well, to be fair, we've also had a confrontation with the Magic Special Forces, so we're not in a position to say that just yet. Yeah. And by confrontation, y'all low-key got washed. Like, she did pretty decent, but like, well, you kind of got cooked. So clearly, either organization is still extremely powerful. And once again, so I think the main 3 Shadow Warriors they fought are like the side team. Like they are not extremely powerful as far as I know. Let's see. No, it doesn't matter that they're still official. It doesn't mean that they're still official. What does that mean? The Shadow Warriors were disbanded 16 years ago by the order of the previous emperor. Really? Why? That's it. Wait, why? Well, there we go. It was because their chain of command was unclear. Unclear? What do you mean by that? I don't know why. For some reason, the phrase, the question or the phrasing, what do you mean by that? Always makes me giggle now. I don't know why. Let's see. The Shadow Warriors were not at all like a conventional military unit. It seems the commanders on the ground were granted considerable authority. Ooh. They could use force within the Empire, and they chose their own targets for assassination. The list. Yeah, that's what they encountered on the way here, in that village with the guy, mayor's name that I forget. Let's see. Such things were left in the hands of each cell's commander. Hey, that's crazy. That means they could do whatever they wanted without orders from above. Why would the Empire allow a system like that? Because the Shadow Warriors were powerful, of course. Exactly. Being allowed to act without orders from on top meant they could make judgments on the spot and coordinate with each other in real time. Some accounts describe the Shadow Warriors as fighting as if they were a single creature, which is very impressive. Like, notably, obviously I can't speak to this fully, but I feel like everyone, if you've watched any sort of team sport and you've seen a really good team play, it does sort of seem like they fight as one organism, or like they play as one organism. Like, prime Golden State Warriors, they were one being, bro. Like looking back on some of their old games, I'm like, whoa, like they were monsters, they were animals. There was not a one-man show. Like, they were all creatures, a beast, a singular beast as a conglomerate. And it is like that. I don't think I can personally say I've ever experienced something like that. The closest I've gotten was like the 4x1 team and the 4x2 team. But even then, since we were working together, but not really working together, as in we weren't like, sorry, we were working to achieve the same objective as in winning the race, but we weren't like working together in the same like lane or anything like that until we had to like pass off. I can't say I know the specific phenomenon myself, but I think I've seen it. Let's see. Their teamwork certainly was impressive. Still, to have authority like that. Yeah, it is true. Like, they did really well, especially considering that was like a super duper, well, of course, because they don't have a chain of command, but that was a super duper on the fly mission with only 3 people that would have succeeded if not for my glorious King Sign being here. Stark would have been cooked. He would have died. Let's say, hey, isn't that too dangerous? I mean, it's dangerous as in it'd be hard to control, but that's about it. Fighting as a party. What does that mean? Me and Stark got the same reaction. What? I take command when we fight as a party, but am I dangerous? Yes. Extra. Frieren. Not only is your name on the box, bro, but also you are literally one of the most powerful living creatures. Like, period, point blank. Like, sure, as we found out, you can get diffed by a warrior, but like, you are quite dangerous, dare I say. Like, especially if we go by the anime, your copy made a black hole, and then you just, like, negged it. So, like, yes, you were quite dangerous. I was like, well, you're not some bad guy. That means it all depends on who's in charge. Okay. So hypothetically, because yeah, when you think about it, the Frieren squad, the current Frieren party, is devious, diabolical, and extremely powerful. Not only do they have the mage of the heroes party, who is presumably, as far as we know, especially with Menthi's death and unknowing if, or minus his death, and the unknown factor of a hypothetical third grade mage that isn't Frieren, she's the most powerful mage on the planet, outside of Sede, outside of the literal, like, god. And Stark is an extremely powerful and potent warrior, capable of mass life destruction. And Fern is a young human mage with great potential, with casting speed even faster than Frieren's. And of course, Sign is even capable of combat, but the main thing he's good for is keeping them all in tip-top shape to keep fighting. If they wanted to, they could cause a whole lot of havoc if Frieren directed them that way. But since she doesn't, they don't cause too much havoc. However, if the Shadow Warriors were to operate like that, where they just acted entirely autonomously, they could end up causing a whole lot of havoc and chaos and destruction just as a byproduct of their existence, realistically speaking, right? Because they can do whatever they want. So say a Shadow Warrior squadron head is like, I don't like that guy. Get rid of him. Get his wife too. Get his kids. In fact, get his whole family tree. Like, I could easily see how that could down spiral, considering they don't have to check with the higher ups. Let's see. The commanders were carefully selected. Is that right? Oh, well, yes. They were chosen from those who pledged their loyalty to the Empire. That sounds easy. A little too easy. Let's see. That's not a smart way to select people. Oh, okay, so Ghost. I love Frieren because I feel like whenever I have like a critique or something, like the characters in universe will immediately acknowledge it. Let's see. That's not a smart way to select people. I agree. It worked fine while the purpose of the Empire's existence was clear, but problems started to arise as time passed. The vision, the ideals, and the future direction of the Empire became misaligned with the people. The Shadow Warriors gradually stopped serving the Empire's will. And started serving... It's probably like, well, let me see. The reason the Emperor decided to disband them was because the people the Shadow Warriors thought were in their way kept dying mysteriously. That's the thing. It reminds me of, in fact, I gotta because I just finished my read, so I'm gonna like every anime, manga, YouTuber ever, I'm gonna have to glaze the Chimera Ant arc. Poof's whole character. And honestly, realistically, the Alex and Nixar video does such a good job on it that I'm almost not sure I want to even make my video because I feel like I'll just be parroting his points. But what does it mean to be king? That's what essentially all three of the royal guards in Hunter x Hunter deal with Meruem. Poof has this perfect idealized version of the king, which is entirely separate from Meruem, but ultimately still must be Meruem, as Meruem is the king. Pito has the idea of Meruem the king being Meruem, being the person who he is, and ultimately serving that person, the individual. Yubi's kind of just there for the vibes and follows the king. The king, may he be the ideal or the person, as long as there is the king, Yubi shall serve the king. So ultimately, the Shadow Warriors likely shifted from, we'll follow what the Emperor says, to we shall do whatever we can and whatever we will to protect the Empire. The concept of the Empire. Not necessarily what the Emperor decrees is the current concept of the Empire. Let's see. A secret military unit whose nature even their leader cannot grasp was a clear threat to the Empire. That's true. That's why they were disbanded. Oh, so that's why they were disbanded 16 years ago. But that honestly doesn't make any sense. Aren't we up against Shadow Warriors now? Yeah, because that's the thing. If they don't take commands from on high, they had no reason to listen to the order to disband. That's the thing. Once you lose control of a certain group, that's it. They're free to act entirely autonomously, and their autonomous act was to just dip out. Let's see. They're phantoms. The commanders had a significant authority. They were free to use force and carry out assassinations. Yo, who is this, and why is the design so clean? Let's see. On top of that, we're talking about a secret unit whose actions even the Emperor himself wasn't aware of. I doubt they're able to completely disband them. I doubt they're able to disband them at all. It was like how impossible that would be. That'd be absurd. Let's see. What's more? Yo, why is Ubel's fit kind of fire though? The sleeveless jacket kind of goes crazy. Let's see. Or no, the shoulder bearing jacket. Why I kind of want. Let's see. What's more, those commanders had all pledged their loyalty to the Empire. I wouldn't be surprised if they thought without the Shadow Warriors, there'd be nobody to lead the Empire. That's interesting. As in the Shadow Warriors guiding the future of the Empire, or the Empire, or the Emperor guiding the future of the Empire. By doing what they do, I wonder if they think they're still protecting the Emperor and by proxy the Empire's best interest by consolidating power, and or if they believe ultimately by running everything from the shadows, by determining who lives and who dies, ultimately they truly won the Empire, and that's their ideal. I don't know. If I were them, I might be fired up with a sense of righteousness. Like, I gotta save the Empire from moving in the wrong direction. That's Poof's whole character. I can't let Merholm find that woman. If he does, he won't be the perfect king. Oh, obviously, the king won't be the king if I allow him to get Kabuki. But it's like, almost as if they became there's the chatter. I see you. Traitors. Yes, evidence from the battle revealed the involvement of Shadow Warriors. This increases the credibility of the assassination plot. So the Empire isn't cool with it. Interesting. I'm shocked. I mean, I guess because war, but still, I'm shocked they don't want Sere's head. It's just the Shadow Warrior thing. You would think they'd really want Sere's head. Just to be safe. Like, once again, it's the matter of that uncontrolled entity, right? That uncontrolled variant. Like, hypothetically, right? Say I were to get the completed Omnitrix, I would still just be me. But at the same time, I would understand if every other being on the planet was like, I wonder if we can trust that pencil man now that he has the power of alien axe at his fingertips. He can turn to any creature, most unslaughterable, and the watch protects his very life. Like I do fully get that idea of like, that's a power beyond anything we could hope to control and is extremely dangerous to us, or could be extremely dangerous in the long run. Let's just remove it to be safe. But he doesn't look pleased. It's always one problem after another. Shall we beef up security? Of course. Our mission is to maintain the peace of the Imperial City during the Foundation Day Festival. Whether it's the Continental Magic Association or the Shadow Warriors, we must deal with any disruption of public order. Ooh, interesting. I'm assuming, though, their boss, the lady that Denkin mentioned, I forget her name, that showed up to Weiss all those years ago, that even Mops was like, I should slaughter her now. I should make her love herself now. Like, I can make it look like an accident. I can do it directly. Like, just let me get rid of her. And Denkin, or not Denkin, but the leader of Weiss now regrets that. I bet she's the direct head of the Shadow Warriors. I wouldn't be shocked, because we know they can take high positions, right? Like, one of them is faking to be a high-ranking noble, Lord Ro. So I wouldn't be shocked if she was their current leader in guiding the Empire in her direction, considering she's been a character who we haven't seen much of, but has been established to be very cunning, very beguiling, and ultimately have a very specific goal in mind that not even Denkin or the former leader of Weiss or the current leader of Weiss could understand. Let's see. Then I need you to negotiate with the association regarding security measures. I'll go prepare a carriage for you. There it is, Captain Frost said. But interesting. So hypothetically, they're working together. I still don't trust it. I definitely get either the Continental Magic Association and or the Magical Police Force not trusting either party, because it's like it's a little too risky. Like you want to maybe, but like you just can't. Just to be safe, right? Just to be safe. Can't trust them. What if they betray you? What if they slaughter your people? What if they do something wrong? Let's see. But isn't negotiating Captain Frost's job? I'll be honest, I don't know where she is. Yeah, she's definitely the leader of the Shadow Warriors. I would not be shocked. Why is she always absent when we have so much to do? Hey, don't take it out on me. Okay. Dude? Volsh? What is your name? What is your name? Volsh? Buddy? Pal? Amigo? Where is Sere? Where is Sere? Where is she? Why is she not with you, Buckaroo? Let's see. This is personal information on the Shadow Warriors. Uniel managed to get her hands on this. She's been treading dangerous ground. Yeah, she really has. Let's see. The next time we see her, it might be her corpse. Don't say that, even as a joke. He really does not like Lindial. Or, Lindial. A joke indeed. Lineal certainly is talented enough as a winner. As a wizard. Oh, interesting. This is the first time I feel like I've heard the term wizard. As a wizard. Terrifyingly skilled, even. It only happened once, but she was able to make Mr. Sere kneel during a mock battle. Okay, so she may genuinely be stronger than my OC. Fun little fact of my dumb little fanfiction vet, Frieren OC. The one issue he has is that he's never beaten Sere. Not even come close to beating Sere. Like, obviously he's much younger than her. He's in fact even younger than Frieren, but he is an elf. And ultimately, despite all the power he's amassed over the years, is he, like Sere, is an elf who's fully focused on the idea of self-involvement, self-evolution, and using magic in different ways to evolve in combat and all that. And he's developed a variety of fashions and abilities. Sere has always had his number. Always have been able to read him, and thusly he's never been able to make her kneel. So technically, even if it was only once and it was during a mock battle, Lineal is stronger than my LC. Or at least more capable in combating in Sere. Let's see. It was a remarkable achievement. Even Learnin couldn't do it. That may be why she was sent on this very risky mission to investigate things in the Empire. If we're talking about a fight between humans, I don't know anyone more skillful than Lineal. So she gonna die. If anything, sacrifice her. She definitely gonna die. Let's see. Yep, they got him. Gazelle, the peddler. As I thought, Werlos is also a shadow ward. Hey, what's wrong, son? Oh, no, it's nothing. Traitors indeed. So y'all were right. I forget who had pointed it out in that comment, but you were right. This is Gorilla Warrior. He has become a Shadow Warrior. From Gorilla to Shadow. What a shame. What a shame. But overall, yeah, a very, very, very W chapter, if I do say so myself. Very solid. Once again, we are building so well. With Seti being here and properly establishing her presence, that's one big thing. And the nature of the three-way conflict that's going on between the Continental Magic Association, between the Shadow Warriors themselves, and the Magical Defense Force. All three are parties who have interest in taking out each other, possibly working alongside each other to take out each other. The conflict is going to go crazy. I'm excited. Frieren, it feels like it's building up to a war arc. Like a near open war, but even possible pseudo war arc. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what happens next. But if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave Neil. Like you know how she made Mr. Sete Neil. Neil, Kneel, in the comment section down below. I did thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you know so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also do have a Patreon below where you can support me for as well as $1 month. Get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You can also now become a member of the channel for as well as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include live reactions or the series I review, ad variations of all my videos, and becoming to a $5 Patreon or a $20 member. You can order whatever video you want. Also, leave a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below where you can drop 5 beans for a short video, 20 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.
I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Zara, Greyhound, Eternal Flame, Redwolf 4765, Astro, Brandon Payne, Glacier XZ, and G Prosper. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 members, A+A, Ignil Lind, Kevin Encarnacion, Midnight Lord 21, and Sean. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 members, Fine, Austin Wimberly, Uchiha, and Yuki Ally. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 members, AZ Void, J Warrior, and Robbie Uchiha. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our $10 patrons, Overlord Zero, Waki Munoz, and Idem Okami. And I'd like to give a final, gracious, gargantuan thank you to our $100 That Guy with a Pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.